Hi, I'm John, an assistant den leader in Cub Scout Pack 828 of the Baltimore Area Council. Like many packs, the Pinewood Derby is a real highlight of our program. So in the middle of a pandemic, we had to find a way to convert our normal race into a virtual one. This video shows what we did. Along the way, we didn't find much information on how to set up a virtual race. So I hope this video will give you a higher starting point to set up your own virtual Pinewood Derby.
First, here's how we normally do the Pinewood Derby. In early January, we have a pack meeting that we call the Pinewood Derby Workshop, where we distribute car kits to scouts, siblings, and parents. At the same meeting, if they like, participants can draw their own pattern on the wood block, and scout leaders cut out the cars with our pack's bandsaws. About 3 weeks later, on a Friday evening, scouts drop off their cars to be registered, checked, and weighed. We have a fix-it table to help with any necessary repairs or adjustments. The track is set up, and each car is run once down the track as a test. Scout leaders make additional repairs or adjustments as necessary. The next day, a Saturday, is race day. Before the race, all the cars are put on display and scouts fill out a sheet for various voting awards. In the race, each car is run 6 times, once in each lane, according to the race management software. Winners are determined by the best average time. While the race is going on, we tally the vote sheets to determine the voting award winners. When the race is over, there is a brief intermission followed by a ceremony to give out both the voting awards and speed awards. After the awards ceremony, we run the parent race. For our virtual race, we still wanted to help scouts cut their cars, have voting awards, and keep the same system of racing where there are no elimination heats. We also had to observe local health guidelines at the time, which did not allow scouts to watch any part of the race in person, even in small groups. We knew there would be no way to reproduce all of the fun of a normal live race, but we felt part of the fun could still be a lot of fun. To virtualize the Pinewood Derby workshop, we had an online car sign-up. The sign-up consisted of choosing a car pattern from a pre-selected list. These patterns were the most popular ones from past Pinewood Derby workshops. Scouts could also select just an uncut block of wood. A few scout leaders with home workshops cut the requested cars. We cut a few extra cars of each pattern for those who missed the sign-up. Instead of our normal Pinewood Derby workshop meeting, we held an outdoor drive-by event where families came to pick up their requested car kits. For the actual race, we set up several websites. Voting required a way to display pictures of each car and collect votes. There are a number of popular photo sharing websites that we could have used, but we chose SmugMug because one of our scout leaders had an account, and it has a feature that can display a gallery of pictures in random order. To collect votes, we set up a simple form on Google Drive. There are a number of other survey websites we could have used, but we chose Google Form because a scout leader already knew how to do it. We set up a YouTube channel for our pack. YouTube is a good site for live streaming, but we decided it would be simpler to record a video of the race and post it to the channel using the YouTube's Premiere feature. This feature allows the video to become available for viewing at a pre-scheduled time. Our plan was to record the race Saturday morning and premiere the video at 1 p.m. when the race would have normally started. Finally, we set up a Zoom meeting for a live awards presentation to follow the race video's premiere. This was quite a bit to set up. There are probably better ways to do it, but this was the simplest way for us to using websites that scout leaders already knew how to use. This method also gave us web links that did not change and could be emailed to pack families weeks in advance. To make the race video, we used a program called OBS Studio. It's a free, open-source program for recording and streaming video from multiple sources. It's pretty easy to use, but to learn it from scratch, as we did, you need to be pretty good with computers, and it also helps to have some prior experience with video editing. You could use OBS Studio to stream live video, but we chose to make a recording instead. OBS Studio mixes together various AV sources into a single video output that can be recorded or streamed. Here are the inputs that we connected to OBS Studio. First, we connected 2 HD webcams, each with a USB extension cord. One was positioned with an overall view of the track, and one was rigged above the finish line. Above the starting line, we rigged a cell phone running an app that turned it into a Wi-Fi network camera. We used a second cell phone running the same app to record the Cubmaster's introduction and closing remarks. We used cell phone cameras because they needed to be farther away from the video computer than the 15-foot limit of a USB cable. We set up our own Wi-Fi router and connected both the video and race management computers to it. This was done to reduce the possibility of network glitches from the building's Wi-Fi. We installed a web plugin into the race management software that allowed us to capture race results in OBS Studio. Finally, we connected an external microphone to the video computer through a preamplifier. We also connected headphones to monitor the audio. This required a splitter cable in the laptop's headphone jack. We made a floor plan to ensure that we had cables that were long enough to reach all of the equipment and to plan where everyone would stand in order to observe recommendations for physical distance. OBS Studio allows you to create different combinations and layouts of the inputs that are called scenes. First, we had one scene with just the Cubmaster's camera. A second scene showed the starting camera next to a web feed from the race management software showing the current heat.
See who takes it.
A third scene showed the cars racing.
Oh, look at that.
And a fourth scene showed the results of the heat.
Should be a
Recording the
good
race
one.
was a matter of starting and stopping
We've
the
got
recording
two
and
red
switching
cars.
between scenes.
And the sword car squeaks out a win.
It is also possible to add a background soundtrack and audio effects. The day before the race, a Friday, we held our usual car drop-off, but it was an outdoor drive-by event. We did not have our usual fix-it table to help with adjustments. Scouts were told to do their best to adhere to the 5-ounce weight limit. For example, we suggested that they make a simple balance to check their car's weight compared to 25 US quarters, which also weighs 5 ounces. After drop-off, we photographed each car. A copy of the photos was given to the scout leader serving as race manager for use in the live awards presentation. The photos were uploaded to the photo sharing website, and the Google form was turned on to accept responses. The final race schedule was emailed to scout families.
Mentally awake
On Saturday morning,
and
race
morally
day,
straight.
we made recordings of the Cubmaster's
All right, let's
opening,
get started. One,
each
whoa,
race heat,
whoa.
and the Cubmaster's
Alpha
closing.
or beta.
Recording was paused
beta
between
takes
each
the
heat
win.
to reduce
Woo!
downtime.
Be a
We
good
made a separate
race.
recording of the
Let's
parent
see
race.
it. Whoa.
After racing concluded, the final results were known only to the race manager and kept secret from everyone else. The race manager prepared a PowerPoint presentation of speed awards by dragging photos of the award-winning cars into a pre-made PowerPoint template showing all the awards. Meanwhile, we assembled the final scout and parents race videos and uploaded them to the PAC's YouTube channel. After the scout race video premiered, we closed the voting, exported the voting data, and counted the votes with the help of a computer program. The voting results were emailed to the race manager, who entered them into the PowerPoint awards template. After the scout race video concluded, there was a brief intermission, and we started the live Zoom meeting for the awards presentation. Our Cubmaster announced the awards without prior knowledge of the winners, like they do in the Academy Awards.
5 and 6.
During the Zoom meeting, we made the parent race video public on the YouTube channel. Like everyone else, we were doing a virtual Pinewood Derby for the first time. Here are a few things we learned that might be helpful to others. The town time between race heats is much more boring on video than it is for a normal race, so we tried to minimize the downtime as much as possible. Recording the race has a number of advantages over live streaming. You can pause recording to skip over the downtime. There is no requirement for a good internet connection. The video quality is better. It's easier to work out problems during the race. And the recorded video can be edited later. The race management software's plugin for displaying race results did not update reliably. A plugin through OBS Studio would have been much better. We could have used more time to count the votes. It would have been better to use a vote collection site that recorded the network address so we could better identify unintentional duplicate votes. On the upside, we learned ways to improve our normal race. For the virtual race, we used nicknames for the cars so we wouldn't have to use the scouts' full names on the video. The nicknames were so fun and creative that we have already decided that we will continue this tradition. In the parent race, we experimented with an instant replay camera car that may be a fun addition to future races.
Well, there you have it, our PAC's first virtual Pinewood Derby. We have a lot of ideas to improve the event, but we hope we can go back to a normal event next year. In the meantime, I'm sure that our experience will help you create an even better event for your PAC. Good luck and have fun.